Welcome to Zombie Advisor with James Knapp, the only podcast where being undead isn't an excuse for being unresponsive. This is the space where financial advisors and clients come together to break free from the old, slow-moving reactionary system. Tune in as we shake the dust off of outdated practices, dissect what really matters to today's clients, and tap into the brains of industry leaders who are actually alive, alert, and crushing it.
All right, today is March 11th, 2026, and the weather today in St. Paul, Minnesota is 32 and snowing. On this day in history, on March 11th, the best performing stock market was the NASDAQ on March 11th, 2009, and it went up 5.4% in one day. Well, welcome back, everyone. I'm really looking forward to today's conversation. Joining me is David Soczek, owner and vice president of National Benefits Group. David has been in the employees benefit and insurance industry for more than 3 decades, starting back in the mid 1990s, and he's worked with National Benefits Group since 1995. And he actually helped guide the ownership of that in 2009. He's also a fellow Iowan, and he's joining us today from Minnesota. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, James. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is great. David and I were actually able to work together in 2012. So we've worked together for quite a while now. I hate to say that out loud. And we're here to talk about podcasts and zombies and the insurance industry. So take me through how you got into the insurance industry.
Well, surprisingly, I had no desire to get into the insurance industry, but my dad was a risk manager for a corporation, and all he kept telling me throughout my life, go into insurance.
Really?
Go into insurance, go into insurance. And I think that just stuck in the back of my head because I did everything not to get into insurance. But here I am, and I thank my dad for me and planting that seed in my mind. So it's the best thing I've been in since being born. So,
Yeah. Was he in the insurance industry?
like I said, he was a risk manager, so property and casualty.
Okay.
So it was a good experience in that line. He got to do a lot of fun things. So
I believe it. All right. So take me through it. You're in college, you go into the insurance industry, you end up in Marsh.
well, I ended up first doing independent advisory work.
That's
I
right.
was at IDS, which became Ameriprise, and it wasn't everything that I wanted it to be. It was a great experience. I had some great mentors. People told me that education was the way to do it.
Yeah.
But your sales leaders tell you opposite. Sell,
Yes.
sell, but don't think about anything. Luckily, I listened to my mentors in the other part. Over time, I eventually found that individual life or individual investment sales was not really what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to work with corporations, businesses, and business owners. So I
Mhm.
ultimately found myself in National Benefits Group.
Yeah, interesting. So you are more of a consultative sales approach versus hand-to-hand combat, shall we
Yeah.
say?
I mean, when you're working with corporations, they don't want to be sold. They want to have a partner basically give them an understanding of what works. So we give them the good, the bad, the ugly of everything we do.
Right.
And when you give them the ugly as well as the good, they fully understand and can make a good business decision. So in the business markets, if it works, they do it. And if it doesn't, you move, you find something else they'll be, or you simply come back when it does work for them. So it's refreshing not to
Mhm.
have the emotion portion of it, but
Right.
more of the intellect portion of the numbers. And that's what I love.
Yeah. Well, I refer to you as the Encyclopedia Britannica of insurance. So
Yeah.
it's pretty sure. I mean, we think about our consultative sales. So we'll have a case, we bring you in, you'll break down what our good, the bad, the ugly is. We run that through a scenario of different carriers, and then we come up with what's right for the client.
Mhm.
And then we work through that with our client individually or with you in the meeting, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is the insurance market, as stodgy as it seems, is very evolving. I mean, today's best insurance carrier, best insurance product, is maybe not the right product for
Right.
everybody. There's no perfect product.
Right.
So when we're working with you, when you give
Mhm.
us an individual, that individual comes with baggage. That baggage is their health,
Right.
and that health dictates different results with different insurance carriers.
Right.
And so, what most individuals do, or most salespeople do, is just default to the best number on a page.
Right.
But that number on a page doesn't correspond to that individual, their background,
No.
what their health is going to do. And our goal then is to work with you and try to figure that out and then
Mhm.
find the best number based on that result.
Right.
So,
you don't just work with us, you work with hundreds of clients or
We
advisors or
work with
people
people
across the nation.
absolutely throughout the whole country in that line, but we do it in partnership. We
Right.
only do it with individuals such as yourselves that have established relationships, know their clients, and can have
Right.
an honest conversation
Right.
about what's needed and what they're looking for.
Yeah. Have you ever considered yourself a fiduciary in the insurance world?
I do in that line because at the thing we want to be able to put the best foot forward, not just for ourselves, but for our relationships, our partners like yourself. Because if
Mhm.
we fail you, we've not only failed you, but we failed your client.
Right.
And at the end of the day, we do not want that. We want to be best in class in anything so that way you keep coming back and saying, I've got another person I want you to work with. That's our
Right.
goal.
Yeah. So it is very it's we're working together collaboratively, but we're also fiduciaries for the client's best
Correct.
interest.
Yep.
Yeah. But you do it for bank owned life
Mhm.
insurance, corporate owned life insurance, non qualified deferred comp plans, phantom stock plans, which is a form of non qualified deferred comp plans, all different types of insurance relationships, whether it's we're selling a business or buying a business. There's different types of cross purchase buy sell agreements. I mean, think about all the things that you get to play in.
Mhm.
It's
Every
unbelievable.
every single day is different. Every time I pick up that phone, I don't know if it's a simple term insurance placement or if it's a complex deferred compensation plan where the owner wants to do something unique that he thinks has never been done or that she believes, it's not possible. I
Hmm.
mean, our role is to figure out what can and can't be done, but just asking general questions.
Right.
The number one question to ask always is when you're talking with a business owner is if you could put it on a piece of paper and think about what you want, do that because that's what we hopefully can turn around into a plan for you. And sometimes it's very simple and sometimes it's complex, but it's their plan, their thought, and we simply are just taking that for them.
That's interesting. So when you're in that case, how many people will be in that room with you? Like who are some strategic partners you get to work with that prevent being a zombie advisor?
Well, we always invite and we want the CPA, we want the
Right.
attorney, we want as many people that are advising that client in that room
Yep.
because just because I've got a concept in my head and I might be working with you in a case and you might have a little bit of the picture, maybe a good portion of the picture.
Sure.
You may not know the full accounting, you may not know the full legal background,
Right.
you may not know all the other uniquenesses of that client. And without knowing that, we could come up with the perfect solution, but to
Hmm.
the wrong problem.
Right.
And we need those other people to tell us, but,
But this.
yes. And
But
then,
we didn't know that.
exactly. So every case is almost a choose your own adventure. Every page turns with more information. We just have to be, appropriately and knowledgeably welcoming the data that people are giving us in that time period. So it's not confrontational. It's
Right.
not trying to put a roadblock.
Right.
We're just trying to put a solution together for that client. And that's
Yeah.
what I think what makes us a little bit different.
Yeah. That's the consultative sales approach.
Yep.
I mean, it's not even selling something, it's finding a solution.
Well, it's, in addition to a solution, we also want to figure out exit strategies in advance of that solution.
Okay.
So
What does that mean?
when we're working with an individual like yourself, things happen.
Yep.
And if we only have a plan that works without any form of exit strategy, when something needs to occur or we need to unwind the plan, but we've put them in a position that it's costly,
Yeah.
ineffective, they need to know what the outcome is. So we not only look at what it is to put together the plan, but we also take a look at what it does to unwind the plan.
Mm.
So I always look at it, the solution is always the best of the worst.
Mm.
So we go through all the worst scenarios and try to find the best plan that takes care of that associate. Then let the client decide where in the range do they want to fall in. If they understand it's going to be painful to exit, but a wonderful plan up front and they choose that, that's okay.
Yeah.
But we've got all of the ideas out in front of them. They made that choice.
So would you say you begin with the end in mind?
That's the goal. I mean, every
Okay.
company, business owner has a thought, I'm going to sell this business in 5 years.
Hmm.
Okay. What happens if you don't?
Right.
What happens if there's nobody that's willing to pay what you want for your business?
Right.
Maybe the family isn't involved in the business. Maybe there's a great employee that has the ability. Maybe we should look at all these different things. Uh, Things fail because we don't plan for the overall outcome.
Mm.
I mean, on our sales side, we love selling stuff.
Hmm.
But if you sell something and you don't have the ability to help the client throughout the whole process, you failed the client.
Yeah, it's powerful. I mean, we failed to plan.
Correct.
You said that it was
Yep.
we failed the plan. You're always. We had a client recently who was trying to tell us what the future was going to hold for them.
Mm.
That's always my favorite. I'm like, okay, can you tell me when I'm going to die? Like, what does this look like? How many grandkids will I have in the future?
Sure.
Like you're Nostradamus, you know?
You never know, especially in that goal with the grandkids. You
Yeah.
think you're going to have a ton of them,
Right.
and then you may end up with none.
One.
Or would
Zero.
it be? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. We
doesn't know.
don't know.
We don't know. Or you have the buyer that's ready to go and they die.
Yep.
Or they get divorced.
Mhm.
I mean, there's so many things that happen in our life.
Correct.
Yeah.
It-
Isn't risk management or transfer of risk or any of these plans we're putting together just understanding what our risks are and transferring it?
Well, and being honest about those risks with the client. Sometimes clients don't want to hear
Mhm.
that in personal side that they may not be in as perfect of health as they thought they were,
Right.
or that their business might have some hiccups associated with it, or just to hold it to yourself. So the concept is, yeah, I can implement something, but I'm not giving them the full guts of what might be appropriate. I mean, if I've got a feeling that there's a piece to the plan that might hold them back, I need to describe that to them, because the worst thing I can do is put together a plan and have that individual, have that business owner hate me for the rest of their lives.
Yes.
I mean, that's the part. Guilt is a strong part of our business. Mitigate as much guilt as we can, and we're going
Yeah.
to do good things.
Yeah.
Hold up. Just a quick pause in the zombie action. You're listening to Zombie Advisor, and I'm so pumped you're here. Got a question? Want to challenge something I said? Head over to voyumwa.com or hit the show notes to find me. Don't be shy. I'm not actually undead.
Our job is to put our clients in the best position.
Mhm.
There was an advisor that always say, our job is to push all the chips on your side of the table, and then we get to play those chips throughout your life. That was a good analogy for me. I was like, oh, this is like playing cards, but it's not. It's with your life.
That's the real piece. I mean, our goal is to help you as well with your clients. I mean, you get to sit on the other side with your client and kind of go through and be the voice for them when you're talking with us. Because clients, individuals, corporations, they don't know what they don't know. Let's face it, people are afraid to say the wrong thing, make a mistake, sound foolish. But in our world, we need those dumb questions. We need those things that people are afraid to say to be able to provide the best solutions possible. It's the unknown, unspoken word that basically causes failure in planning.
So is it the ability that you have to get courageous and curious at the same time? Like what separates you? How are you able to do that?
Over time, you just kind of learn that if you don't ask questions, or you don't even ask the dumb question on our side, that might just be something that can just standing you right in the face, but don't ask it once or twice to validate it. Again, everything is the openness. The more open we can be with our clients, the more open they can be with us, the better solutions we can provide. I mean, again, that whole thing is plans fail because people fail to provide the information that we need to give them the solutions.
Sure. That makes sense actually a lot. People will withhold information or lie to themselves.
They are, but I mean, they may not know that they're withholding it. I mean, there's plenty of times when we're talking maybe with a family-owned business, and they've got kids in the business. Unfortunately, not every kid is equal in business. They're equal in our hearts, but they're not equal in business. They have to fully understand that the oldest daughter probably is the person who should all run the business, not the second son, or vice versa in the other part. Who do they really want to do? Do they want to treat them equally? But how? Business owners have that flexibility. We may not be able to treat them equally in the business, but we've got the flexibility on the individual side to treat the kids equally. So it's just having those tough questions. It on the individual side. We're almost, more of a line of counseling to get them past those lines and get them thinking of those questions. If they can think it, then good things again will happen.
Yeah, I agree. We were on a call yesterday with a small business owner, and they have securities business. Those securities businesses are very sticky businesses. They're worth a lot of money. There's a lot of net income that drops to the bottom line every year. This owner, in particular, had 3 children. They put on their board, so they're all the children on the board. His wife's on the board, and one of the sons, the oldest son, is going to take over the business. So how do we equalize this to make it so it's fair, right? Fair isn't a place where we go to pet the animals every day. It's actually fairness in life is hard to do. And we need to make it, because there's one person running the ship. Everybody's going to be drinking from that fire hose,
Mhm.
whatever they create, right? So this business is going to drop money. One person's running it. They're going to get the lion's share of it. When mom and dad die, there's going to be a settlement. To the business is going to go one direction, money is going to go the other. Everybody's going to win.
Yep.
And that's kind of the conversation we had to walk through on their business, estate planning, retirement plan, and it's like multi-generational.
Yep.
It's hard to do.
It is hard to do, but again, in the time period, I mean, there's the simple answer, which is
Mhm.
always the life insurance answer, because that equates, but that
Mhm.
may not be the most tax efficient way of
Right.
being able to do it.
Right.
So, as you know, when you're talking with your clients, you've got to go from the right to the left of easiest to
Mhm.
the most complex,
Right.
the most tax savings to the least tax savings, and
Right.
let them kind of figure on the dial what's going to be right for them.
Right.
But if we simply just came back and said life insurance, well, then that basically is just basically a concept of we want to sell life insurance. That's how we're perceived.
Right.
But if we try to figure out how we can mitigate some cost and give them
Mhm.
some options associated with it,
Mhm.
maybe life insurance isn't the right answer.
For sure.
Maybe a smaller amount of life insurance. Maybe using, like you said, unique estate structures,
Yes.
other things to be able to do. Uh,
Yeah.
in the side of the zombie advisor approach, it's simply one solution for everything again and again and again. And
Right.
that's just not right.
Right. What's the old adage? If all you got's a hammer, everything's a nail.
Yep. Well, yeah. And the other thing is, people generally, I don't want to say across the board, but are simplistic. They are very good at what they're very good at.
Right.
And then when we come in wrong, a lot of times we're talking about complex items, complex strategies,
Yeah.
and that adds a level of fear or
Yes.
scare.
Mhm.
And we got to try to mitigate that. I mean, at the end of the day, some people may look at it and say, you gave some really great ideas,
Mhm.
but I want simple. Let's
Right.
just do the insurance.
How am I going to implement that?
Yeah, how am I going to, who's going to administer it? Who's going to keep an eye on this thing?
I'm not even insurable. What do we do now?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And those are all the questions we've got to deal with.
Yeah. Or you go through underwriting and you decide on life insurance and you end up that the person has cancer. They find that out in the underwriting
Mhm.
process. There's many things that change the plan.
Yep.
Right?
But if you think about it, we might not be able to get the insurance, but we've identified that there's a health issue that they may not have been aware of. So
Right.
even in that, it's not a great positive, but it's a
No.
positive that they can deal with sooner than the others. So
Right.
yes, we didn't sell insurance,
I
but
just
we
saved their life.
identified somebody that can help their health a
Exactly.
lot sooner.
Exactly. I mean, we did a case recently together where we ended up owning life insurance for corporate owned life insurance. So it's a small business. The corporation's going to own the life insurance. The original recommendation was not corporate owned life insurance. It was actually owned by the individual. That individual would have had a greater estate plan, meaning the estate tax would have gone up because their life insurance would have been in their estate versus owning it in the business. And then there was an eyelet that came off of it. So there was an irrevocable life insurance trust that came outside of that. So instead of the individual owning it, the corporation still owns it. Yes, it did drive up the business value a little bit, but they're made some cash available to buy out the spouse, not all of it.
Mhm.
And there'd still be enough money outside of that, outside of the estate, so that the spouse was taken care of.
Sure. I mean,
Right?
a wise move of being doing using cash flow. I mean, the
Cash flow.
corporation had the cash flow. The individual's whole life was wrapped inside that business.
Right.
That individual didn't have the complete cash flow.
Right.
So we added the flexibility of being able to use the corporate dollar. Now we could change that in the future if
Right.
things move. We can move the insurance out of the corporation to the individual. We could do other things. But you're right. The small cost is that the value of the insurance, should he pass away, is going to drive up the value of his business.
Right.
But overall, that small cost, that small risk to have flexibility of what he wanted to be able to do made it a very fluent program,
Mm-hmm.
but options at least.
Yeah, and the individual, as they say, was needed to be on a board stretcher. Wasn't as tall as the weight probably needed to be, and so there was some complexities to the insurance, but we found a solution.
Yes. And a very simple one at the end of the day.
Right. Compared to what was recommended, we ended up in a much better position, both financially
Mhm.
and for the family.
Sure. Yeah, because the alternative solution that was provided was just a really large life insurance
Right.
project with a really large premium cash flow,
Right.
more than what was definitely necessary. So we right sized it and we
Right.
made it viable.
Right. But that was working together for the client's best interest.
Correct.
Yeah, which is the consultative sales approach.
Yep.
Um, in our industry, there's a lot of people who sell insurance. There's a lot of people who provide insurance, and then there's a lot of people who use insurance.
Mhm.
And we could be all three at the same time,
Correct.
right? That's just the duality of our job. But we get to play in those games, and every day, like you said, it's complex. So you don't know what's going to happen on the other end of the phone, or what we need from a strategic partner,
Mhm.
what insurance carrier we're going to have. How many insurance companies do you broker?
In a typical year, maybe 20 plus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have 20 different companies,
Mhm.
and each carrier has how many different kinds of policies?
A variety. I mean, there's some that, and when you talked about beforehand, bank-owned life insurance
Right.
products, corporate-owned life insurance products, individual products, accumulation products,
Right.
protection products.
Right.
I mean,
Endowment projects.
yeah,
products,
exactly. I
yeah.
mean, just because an insurance carrier sells insurance, it doesn't mean they sell the type of insurance that every client needs. It's just not viable for every company to do so. Some try, but you can't be number one in everything.
Right.
And that's the uniqueness of the carriers we work with.
What I like to say is not all insurance is created equal.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Meaning everybody's got a niche that they're trying to
Mhm.
solve. And those insurance companies try to solve that with underwriting, cash flow, how much cash they have on their books, if they're public or private.
Mhm.
There's a lot of complexities that go behind that. Reinsurance, all that other stuff.
Well, and everything. If we're working on a corporate-owned case and we're looking for guarantee issue, meaning as minimal underwriting as possible,
Mhm.
someone simply signing a form and getting coverage,
Right.
we have to look at that population. I mean, if
Right.
we've got a heavy female population,
Right.
that's one insurance carrier I have in mind because their rates are significantly lower for females.
Okay.
If we've got a highly male population, I may look at a carrier that has a unisex product. So
Okay.
that way I can get a blended rate between females and males.
Got it.
I mean, or if I've got people that are average 55 versus average 35,
Okay.
completely different cost structures with different carriers.
Right.
Again, all the carriers will take the business, but they may not be the right. And for the corporation, if you work with corporations and when you do so,
Mhm.
they're looking for what's the best scenario for this X number of dollars that I can get.
Right.
And that's what we want to try to find. What is the best scenario for the budget that they have to
Right.
put them in the best position?
Mhm.
And that's why we use the different number of carriers we utilize.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Dave, this was super exciting. I know we made insurance exciting today for sure.
Yes, we could.
Yes, for sure. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the podcast as much as we did. Please like and subscribe us on any of your streaming services. You can also find us on Zombie Advisor at youtube.com.
Thank
See
you,
ya.
James.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks for listening to the Zombie Advisor with James Knapp. Don't forget to hit that follow button so you never miss an episode. Want to learn more? Visit us at boyumwa.com, BOYUMWA.com, or give us a call at 651-289-6444. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Boyum Wealth Architects. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional investing advice. Always consult your financial advisor or other qualified service providers with any questions you may have regarding your personal investment planning.